I was muted. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Friday Night Pint. My name's Nicky Hawkins, and I'm with the original crew this week. As Dan said that I was going to say this week, so I fucking did say it. So there we go. Back with the original crew, boys. Friday night. I should zoom this camera out a little bit because I'm really covered up by the figure. There we go. Friday Night Pint. End of the transfer window. Quite an eventful transfer window. I'm sure we'll get into that. But what have you been up to this week, boys? Anything nice? Happy Friday?
See the comedy started early. Yeah, no. To be honest, I haven't been that great this week. Like a bit of a bug, and it's really. I mean, I'm not going to go too into it, but it was a bit like, yeah, it was a bit graphic. But it's But yeah, apart from that, mate, just working and yeah, that's it. Nothing exciting.
Who's this stranger in the middle here?
What do you mean, stranger? I'm always here.
Mr. Post-match pint.
Yeah. What have you been up to?
Not much, mate. Usual, working. That's it.
Yeah.
Boring week this week.
It's been quite a boring week, yeah. I must admit, it has been quite a boring week. But let's get straight into it then. West Ham, have they done enough in the transfer window? I mean, there's links with the Sarsi. Is it the Sarsi today? And listen, it hasn't gone down well. Obviously, we've sold a load of. Well, I've got to say this right before we get into this. Did anyone see Burnley's fucking announcement video for Ward-Prowse?
Oh, mate, it was the best one I've seen. It was so funny.
Did you see it right?
But funny.
Yeah, I'm the one that sent it in the group.
Oh yeah, of course you were. Yeah. Oh yeah, you did. Yeah. The bit that does me is he's got his head in the suitcase. He goes back. He goes, "I'm the Clarence."
Yeah.
Oh, honestly, I was fucking crying at that. But
now we know where Ward-Prowse has been for the last 5 months. He's been locked in a briefcase.
Yeah, but it was quite funny enough. But another player let go. Rodriguez let go. Paqueta let go all this week, as well as Guilherme and all that. But have we done enough to get it done during the transfer window? Let's discuss this. First of all, let's start with the Sarsi. Is anyone surprised that we've been linked with him? And does anyone actually want him?
Look, I see mixed reviews on him. You know, I've seen some people say he's all right. Some people say he ain't that good. But if we've learned anything over the last 5 years, it's not to judge players straight away on previous form. You know, Craig Dawson, you know, a prime example there. But look, is he the number one target we all wanted? Probably not. But the position we're in, you know, we're not an attractive football club at the moment. So we're not going to get a lot of players chucking themselves at the chance to come and play for us. And that's just the way it is. So he could come in, he could do well for us. But then he could come in and be absolutely dog shit. So that's the risk we're going to have to take. But we need someone in. Whether he's going to be... I know we're linked with a Southampton boy as well. I'll be honest, the only thing I know about him, I can remember him, and I don't know if you remember this, but he actually did play a game for England and he scored on his debut. One cap, one goal under Lee Carsley. So, yeah, look, as I said, it's probably not the names that we want, but the position we're in, unfortunately, that's what we're going to have to deal with.
The thing is that I spoke to my mates at work who are Chelsea fans, and they said he isn't that bad. You know, he's not he ain't going to set the world alight for us, but he'll do a job. And you know, considering we had Igor who never got a sniff at all, you want to, you know, you're looking for upgrades, and this is a problem. Like you said, the position we're in, and this time of the season, the transfer window, you're not really going to get upgrades. You've got to be looking just something slightly along par with what you got. Someone a bit younger, you know, we've all coated off Kilman this season because he's been absolutely awful. As I said, Igor never got a look in. If we're not going to look at one of our own young lads, then what else is there to take a punt on? And a player who's looking to get some first team football, looking to prove himself a bit, then it could work out for us. You know, like I said, we've got to stop thinking that we're this attractive football club that's going to be able to sign these top Premier League established players. We're not. You know, we're scraping the barrel for players, and you know we've got to just deal with what we're getting and what's coming in. And if that's what's available, look, who would you rather see playing? A kid that's got to prove himself a bit, or Kilman? That's how you've got to look at it.
Well, he's not exactly a kid, Scott. I think he's 27.
Oh,
So
right,
he's not a kid. He's a French
He's
international.
He's a kid compared to us in our 40s.
Yeah. No, but I'm just saying, in terms of football wise, he's not a kid. He's 27 years old. I don't know how old Kilman is. He might be even similar age to Kilman. I don't know how old Kilman is.
He's got three or four caps for France. You
Mhm.
know,
5
he
caps.
was on loan at Villa, wasn't he? So he's I mean, when I messaged my Chelsea man, I said sum him up, and he went. He didn't even reply. Like he just put like a laughing face. So that says it there. But he's on a wind up all the time anyway. So I don't believe anything he says. He said to me Zuma was going to be shit, and Zuma was the absolute nuts for us. So
Yeah. Well, this is I was with Louis Beneventi today, and he said to me that he's like a big tank. He said he turns like a bus and all of that sort of. But when I'm looking at our defence,
can I just say on that point, Nick?
Yeah.
I think buses turn quicker than tanks.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. But what I'm saying is, he said he's like a big tank. He goes and he turns like a bus, right? And he goes and he's just a big lump. You know, he's a big. But I'm looking at our defence. I'm thinking, that's what we fucking need. You know, we need a fucking big lump. We need someone that's just going to be a big fucking, the James Collins. Like, let's be honest. If you used to describe James Collins, if you used to describe Craig Dawson, there'd be a big tank that turns like a bus, right? So I don't know enough about this geezer. I haven't seen him play enough. I'm going to be honest with you. I know he's played in the Premier League and all that. He hasn't played all season. But you think about the defenders we've got. Mavropanos is one. He's a big tank. You know what I mean? I know he pushes up well, but I watched a bit about, and this is the thing about Mavropanos. He's got a mistake in him he let the striker go. The position he found himself last week to let the striker in, was his one mistake, and he's played really well. But I think we just need someone like that. And if we can get someone like that playing, he has got a bit to prove. He hasn't played or been in the team since April, apparently. And he hasn't even played for the under-21s. So they want rid of him. So it's someone that we can get and we can get for cheap. As I said before, I sat here. I'm never, ever, ever going to do this again because I'll make a mistake, and I try not to make it twice, and that's the way I live. I sat here and slated the signing of Craig Dawson, and Craig Dawson turned out to be one of the best signings we've made centre defensive wise in probably the past 10 years. He was solid and he cost £2 million. So I'm not going to sit here and say that, but I am thinking about Igor. As I said, Igor hasn't played; he's gone back on. So replacing Igor with him, I don't think can be a bad gamble. To be honest with you, because Igor wasn't getting a run in. He played 2 games for us or something, right? He's going to come in. If he don't play a game, he's no worse than Igor.
Yeah, that's it. And that's the thing that sort of hammer. We're not going to get massive upgrades on what we've already got. We've just got to pray that Mavropanos and Todibo stay fit for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Or Kilman all of a sudden turns into like prime Maldini or someone like that. Do you know what I mean? So that is the worry. But he said, he ain't going to be any worse than what we've got sitting on the bench already, or we've let go.
Yeah, I agree. But
and look, I was going to say is that sometimes players don't work out at certain clubs, yet they go to another club and their career kick-starts. So you never know. I'm not going to judge him. As I said, I haven't really seen much of him because he obviously hasn't played a lot of football this season. But if he comes in and he helps us stay up, then fair play. That's all we can ask for.
Listen, I didn't say he was at fault for the goal. I said he was at fault for a chance where he pushed up and he let the striker in, and they didn't score that chance, but he let the striker in and just leaves too many gaps. That's what I'm saying. I wasn't saying he was in fault at the goal. I know he wasn't at fault for the goal. I'm just saying he's got 1 or 2 mistakes in him, but he's the nearest we've got to a big centre half. But the question remains this, right? How many have we let go? We've let go Paquetá, who's officially gone now. I've just been told. Probably the worst kept secret in football, I reckon. We've let go James Ward-Prowse. We've let go Guilherme. We've let go Guido Rodriguez. We've let go... Who else we let go?
Andy Irving.
So that's 5. We brought in Pablo Tatti. Adama, and now we're looking at centre half. Is it enough? We had a thin squad.
Well, yeah, we was thin. We was thin
well.
in it. What?
Fulkrug's gone as well.
Fulkrug, so 6.
Yeah, I mean, look, we was thin on the ground anyway, so we've let more players go than we've brought in. But hopefully, there's still a couple of days left in this transfer window. You know, you don't know what's going to happen. We could bring in maybe another two players, 3 players, and then we just got to go for it, haven't we? There's nothing we can do. Once that transfer window's shut, that's it. That's what we've got. And we just got to hope. And look, I have seen signs in the last couple of games that there is a bit of fight in this team. And I know people are not happy with a Traore signing, but I think it'll be a decent signing. I really do. I think he's going to add a little bit of experience to us. He's going to bring pace. I think he's going to surprise a few people. I'm looking forward to seeing him play. Hopefully, he's involved tomorrow. Be lovely if he scored. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, but look, we do still need to do a bit of business. And look, centre back for me was a priority in this transfer window, and it still is a priority. So hopefully, we can go out, bring someone in, maybe add another midfielder in, and I think we're good. I think we're good to go, and then we can hopefully stay in the Premier League and we go again in the summer. But there's
What
a lot
about the
of
rumours of Sterling? What do you think about them?
Who?
Raheem Sterling, who's been released.
Yeah, look, free agent, 30 years old, Premier League proven. Can I see him joining us? No. I think he'll end up with somewhere like Palace. I think Palace are desperate for players at the moment, and what's going on at that club, they're losing all their best players. So he's a perfect fit for Palace. So yeah, but I can't see him. If we wouldn't have signed Traore, then yeah, I could see it happening, but I can't see it. You can't have someone like Somerville, Traore. There's too much similar players in there to bring someone in. Sterling will be on a lot of money as well. I know he'd give up his contract. Remaining of his contract was worth £23 million. So he wants to play football. I know there's people that say, "Oh, I'd rather sit on the bench," but for me, for someone to cut up a contract worth £23 million shows that they still want to play football. So
Yeah,
wherever he goes, good luck to him. You know, I don't think it'll be at West Ham though.
yeah.
I'm with you, mate. I can't see that, not with the signing of Traore now coming in. And the thing is, he's not. I think his best years are past him, to be honest. I really do. You know, he went to Arsenal last season, didn't. No, I'm on about Sterling.
Oh, Sterling, sorry.
Yeah, he went to Arsenal last season, didn't he? Didn't do much there. Didn't get a look in again at Chelsea, and he just doesn't look to be at his best. You know, would he be a decent squad player for us? Probably, but I just can't see it. Really, really can't. I don't think he's played enough football to give us that impact.
No.
Look, he went on loan. He went on loan to Arsenal, didn't he? And it didn't work out. And you know, it's he's had a bad few years. You know, look at the clubs he's played for. He's played for most of the top teams in the country: City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal. You know, so he was a decent player. He was an England regular. You know, but yeah, I'm with you, Scott. He's past it now, and I'll be very surprised if that was a signing that we even looked at. Someone's just mentioned Jesse Lingard there. I know Jesse Lingard has been offered to us, which was turned down. You know, it's too late, Jesse. You had your chance a few years ago, and look, I know you've come out and he's come out and explained the situation, but what could have been for him? What could have been for us if we'd have got that Jesse Lingard that we had during lockdown play for us more regularly? So that's another ship that's sailed. There's a lot of ships sailing tonight.
Yeah. Yeah, there is. No, I totally agree. Listen, we're at a point, and this is the thing about the transfer window at the moment, right? And listen, I know, and I know what you're saying, and I do not understand what people are saying. And obviously, we've got into a lot of arguments about Lucas Paquetá this week and all that sort of thing. And I know this squad.
What's your feelings on that, by the way, Nick?
Oh, well, yeah, I ain't got many, to be honest with you. But this squad has you know, it's not what it was 3-4 years ago. Let's be honest. And people are saying that we're being asset stripped. It's been badly run. I'll be honest with you. Asset stripped is a word that I don't really like, because I don't think there's fucking many assets in there, to be quite honest with you. And the only ones I would say are an asset, but they're still here. Jared Bowen is an asset. He's still here. You know,
We've got a lovely dining room table in the boardroom that we can get a few quid for.
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Asset stripped, I think, is the wrong word. Badly run, I would fucking, I 100% agree with. And I'm not. Listen, I've been accused this week of being sort of like a Sullivan sympathiser. If anyone thinks I'm a Sullivan sympathiser, you're crazy. You know what I mean? Like I've spent 10 years. Calling him, you know, in the early days before it was a little bit bigger than what it is now. I called him some fucking vile names, mate. You know what I mean? He was all in the room when I done it, you know, and it's, you know, and you know, that man will never have my sympathy. But asset stripping is one thing. Running a football club like a fucking boots out was another, and that is what he's doing. And that
you look at it, mate. Barring Bowen, he stripped from the squad every player who's on big money.
Yeah.
Every player who's on big money's gone.
But Scott, right? It's not like he's stripping us of Rice, you know, Bowen, you know, Zuma when he was important. It's not like he's stripping the shit out of the club. And I don't think it's him. It's, you know, the fact that we've got ourselves into this place where we're playing people like Fulkrug and fucking Paquetá and you know, people that Kudus, even people that just don't want to fucking be here, right?
Yeah.
And we're paying them hundreds of thousands of pounds a fucking week. Guido Rodriguez, I think, was on a lot of money. You know, these player Ings, when we got rid of him at the beginning, a lot of money. Like these players, it's not that he's asset stripping; he's trimming the wages down to, and he's been giving fucking money to for. You know, for fuck all, really. You know, Guido Rodriguez has barely played a fucking game of football since he's played for us, and we've been paying him $100,000 a week. Like it's madness. Like it's madness. Money that we give to people.
You look at Will Prowse, $115,000 a week. Barely
it's a fucking joke. You know, and these people have been nowhere near anyone that's worth a rub. He's let go out on loan. We got more out on loan than fucking Barclays. We really have. Honestly, I've never known a person to loan out so many fucking people. For someone that's meant to be asset stripping, it's just giving them away. It's like the fucking bargain basement at the boot sale. Honestly, you know that at the end of it, when there's fuck all, when there's all the shit left on the table, and they just go, just take that, go on. That's what he's done to us. Like
it's just getting rid of like the wages off the loaning them out. Yeah, it's I mean, I think Burnley are paying 70% of his wages, and we're still paying $35,000 a week.
It's fucking mad.
So, it's just one of them things. Like it's badly run. We know that. But look, Sullivan at the moment is not going anywhere. So my look, and I agree. As I said before, I agree with all the protests. Yes, they should carry on, but for we've got to get behind these players now. They always have our full support, but they need us more than ever now, man. We've got a battle on our hands. We've had 2 wins out of 2, and yet Forest are still 5 points in front of us. So our luck will run out. We're not going to win every game. We know that. So we just got to keep. We've got a difficult game tomorrow against Chelsea, but it's a game that's winnable. People might laugh at me when I say that, but it is a winnable game. And then we've got next weekend is massive for this relegation battle. We've got Burnley away. Forest play Leeds on the Friday night.
Yeah,
massive,
huge.
Huge. So them 2 teams there, they're going to drop points.
Yeah.
One of them's going to drop points. They both might drop points if they draw. So it's a big chance for us to try to. So that game tomorrow, they've got to go for it. They've got to go for it and just fucking,
I said this with Dan, when we were talking the other day. Like you got to be looking at Chelsea's always a hard place to go. We haven't got the best record at the Bridge. They've had a tough game in midweek. They did play well, but they had a tough game. So we've got to hope they have a bit of a European hangover. But for me, it's the performance. So long as the performance is right, if we do get beat, and we don't get slapped, and the performance we've been seeing is still there, it gives you a bit more confidence. If we can get something out of the game, absolutely brilliant. It's a big boost, especially like you were saying, right, with the fixtures that Forest have got and Leeds have got, and we've got to be looking at Palace as well, because they're on a downward spiral. So these are the
And
teams.
Spurs.
Yeah, I keep forgetting about them. These are teams that we're now chasing. And you've just got to look at the level of performance has still got to be there. If we get beat by the odd goal, so be it, so long as we go on and beat Burnley. This is the thing now.
We said it, Scott, didn't we, the other week on this show? We said, when we all accepted, when we lost to Forest, we sort of thought, do you know what? That could be it for us now. So it seems like the players have got a new lease of life. And all we ask is that if we're going to go down, let's go down fighting. Let's go down swinging. Yeah. Let's go down. Let's take it to the 12th round and go to fucking judges' scorecards at the end of the season. You know what I mean? Let's fucking put up a fight.
Yeah.
It's going to be a battle. We know that. But I think there's enough in that team. Like now, Somerville's coming into what we know he could be. Bowen's back on form. We've got Tatty who don't stop running about. And for people to say that he hasn't made a difference, all right, he might not, the stats might not show it, but he's running about and chasing down, is causing defenders to make mistakes, which leads for us to opportunities. So
it gives people something to watch. When you've got someone strolling around.
It's not even that. When someone like Mavropanos or Tadibo get the ball from the back, they can know they can go long because Tatty's going to chase it down.
Yeah.
That's what we never had in the earlier part of the season. How many times did you see them knock the ball up to Fulkrug? No disrespect to him, Wilson as well. Wilson's really good at holding the ball up, but chasing the ball over the top, he ain't got the legs for that no more. No. And I'm not slating Wilson because I want Wilson to be in the box, But if you've got someone like Tatty playing off of him, that's the perfect partnership there.
The thing is, as well, I'm going to give Nugo a bit of credit because the change of the system as well, seemed to suit us a bit more. And this is what we were saying, what I was saying, that a lot of the things that he gets wrong, this change of the system seems to suit the way we're playing and the players that we've got. And that's what it is. You've got to, I keep looking at managers keep playing the same way another manager plays to try and be the same as them. It's time now when you're in these situations to come up with your own thing and be your own man and tinker a little bit with the systems and stuff like that. And to me, it's worked a bit. Playing this sort of two up front, I felt a bit sorry for the criticism that both the new players have had recently. I think they've not made that impact of an instant impact that they're banging in goals and that type of thing, but they've made an impact in the way the team plays. And sometimes that's what you need, because then if you look at it, since them two have come back in, Somerville's been a different player.
Yeah.
And that's what you need. It takes the pressure off of some players that you've got other players who are working harder, who are trying to do different things. Like I said, it's no coincidence that these two lads have sort of got themselves in the team and we start seeing improvements.
Thing is as well, Scott, sorry, mate, but you notice that you see the improvement in Thomas Souček because now he's got pace and legs around him. He can just sit and do what he does, break up play, win the ball in the air in both boxes. And Souček the last two games has been brilliant, and that's what we're saying. That's what we could all see what we was lacking, but the board and the managers and previous managers just couldn't see it. Yeah. But now we've gone out and we've got these two signings. No, they're not marquee signings. They're not signings that people are probably going to go and get their names on the back of the shirt and all that. But they're two players there. All right, I'm not much sold on Pablo at the moment, but I think what he does, their work rate is there. But I like Tatty. I like watching Tatty. And I said it the other week. It reminds me so much of Marko Arnautovic, just the way he plays. And if he can start if he gets 2 or 3 goals this season in the Premier League, it could keep us up. It could be the difference.
I watched a video. Funnily enough, you should say that about he's not made that much. I watched a video, Premier League video, and my old mate James Alcott done it. And James is a very clever boy. James has made a career out of analysing stats and all that, right? Go and have a look at this video. Go and have a look at this about where this form's come from and what Nuno's done to it's the inverted right back going into the midfield, which opened up this passage. It's deep, right? But he highlights, which a lot of us just can't see. A lot of us ain't got the brains to break this down like he does. And that's what he does for a living. So he highlights what they are doing, and the heat patterns and all of that sort of thing of where they're pressing and where they're doing. Go and have a look at it. is they've made a bigger impact than what you think, right? Because all of a sudden you've got a team, as you say, why you've got an outlet. If a geezer's going to chase everything down, that one last week when he chased that goalkeeper down and he nearly got it off the goalkeeper, that is, we love that sort of thing. And people are going to say, yeah, but he just runs around a lot. Well, when you've had people walking around fucking up front for the past 6 years, it's quite fucking nice to see someone actually fucking running and trying to make an effort to get there. That's the thing, right? And it just shows you it's not all about, I like the passages. I like his hold up play. I like the I like the layoff play that he plays. Bowen seems to be more confident with him. He knows he's going to give him the ball and he knows he's going to fucking get it back, right? It's all about that sort of thing. It's about, when Souček and Soufal came in, they lifted the place.
Mhm.
They lifted the place. We was in look, we wasn't in obviously quite as big trouble, but they lift the place because people know what you're going to get from them now. You're going to get effort. That's like Lucas Paquetá, and we will talk about Lucas in a second. But Lucas Paquetá, for all of his faults, right? When he first came here, he was fantastic. He was fantastic. He had 6 months where he couldn't get to grips with the game, but towards the end of that season, he was fantastic. And what did he do? He hattled, he bustled for the ball, right? He wasn't just a creative player, but he made people uncomfortable. That midfield, he was pressing in the midfield. And if you remember at the time, we were saying, play a bit deeper. We can play him a bit deeper. He can be a deeper playmaker because he's hustling for the ball. Towards the end of the career, he'd fall over, start having a little cry, and walk back. Right, you're missing that effort. We was carrying him every single week. I watched Fulkrug one game when he came on at Bournemouth. Right, it was pathetic what I saw from Fulkrug. Fulkrug's a German international, very highly rated. He was walking. I mean, there's a player literally 10 yards away from him and he's walking towards him. Sometimes you don't need someone to be a Lucas Paquetá with all that skill. You just need hustlers and bustlers. And when you're in a relegation battle, that's what you need. You need fighters. You need dogged performances. I don't care if we go to Chelsea tomorrow, concede 35 shots, but Tatty fucking runs around so much that he goes to the goalkeeper. One comes off his arse and it goes in. A win's a fucking win. A win is a win.
Yeah, the thing is as well, and I'm not saying this is all down to Tatty, but since Tatty's been in the starting lineup, you can see that's probably why Somerville's game's improved because the defenders are now concentrating so much on Tatty and what runs he's going to make. They're leaving like Somerville free, which gives him that space. And there's a reason why his form is up in the last few games. And it's just that confidence boost. And it's something that we've needed. And as I said, look, I'm not slating Pablo because it's difficult to come and play in the Premier League. We've seen some of the greatest players that has ever played the game. Thierry Henry struggled when he first come to the Premier League. Dennis Bergkamp struggled. But, I'm not saying Pablo's anything like them, by the way. I'm just saying it's not always easy. Some players can come in, hit the ground running, but it might take him a few games. Obviously, we're running out of games, so we need him to step it up a little bit more. But I've got confidence. I think these two signings they've changed the structure of the team, I think, and it's given, like, you look now, you got Wilson on the bench now. Wilson's settled now. We know he ain't leaving, which is good. It's a good thing, So yeah, there's a lot in this team now that I can look at that and I think, every game we play now, we're going to see a little bit of fight. Where earlier in the season, I must admit, even though I was saying, I still think we'll stay up. After that Forest game, even I sat there and thought, nah, I'm not having this.
The thing is, with things like this, right? If a Lamborghini, you got all of them nice parts of a Lamborghini, you got the nice bodywork and the nice steering wheel and all that. None of them work without the ugly parts inside. Fact. Yeah? You ain't got them ugly parts inside doing all the fucking dog work. None of that Lamborghini's worth fuck all. Nothing. You know what I mean? So it's, that is what you've got to think about what we needed. We needed them cogs. We needed them ugly parts. We needed them bits that are fucking going to work hard so the fucking Lamborghini can look good. And that is what we needed. Let's take some comments, boys. I know we're going to be rambling on for half an hour, but let's take some comments. Dino H says, this club is being asset stripped in plain sight. Think of the squad we had in 2023 compared to what we have now. Listen, there's players that have gone that just want to go. That's fact. Has Paqueta gone? I missed that one. Yeah, I think he might have. Paqueta has gone official now. Mavropanos would not have fought for the guy. I've read that already. Garino plus when we were told by Sean at the start of the window that it was Nuno and Jorge Mendes as Salthouse was banned. I think they talked about that other defender that we mentioned. He's a Salthouse client, apparently. This window, so clearly there's another lie by the flub. Flub. I think he meant club. So, yeah. Late to the show, if Kinski deal goes through, it's to maximise the sell-on for the Hermansen. Unfortunately, fortunately for Sullivan, it was take away any other potential loan for a midfielder. You probably would, yeah. I don't know why the fuck we're looking at that, to be quite honest with you. Ryan don't let Scots take at the same time removing like Dan done to Nicky. Yeah, cheers for that, mate. Sterling is going to Champions League clubs, but I think he will go to Spurs because of their injury crisis. That'll go down well after he just spent the season at Arsenal. Adama Traore has been relegated with Aston Villa and Middlesbrough. Could he get a hat-trick by the end of the season? Well, hopefully not, Philip. Hopefully not. Hopefully he's going to change our fortunes. I don't see any issue with anyone, says Frankie James 90, who we let go. None of them were good enough to help us get out of this mess. We need to hope that a couple more loans will come in to stabilise us to May. Listen, that's a good point, right? Because, and I've said this, we get through this season, we get out of this by hook or crook. What's it going to be like the next season?
Let's worry about that next season.
Exactly.
We ain't got long enough to fucking talk about that.
No, definitely not.
Pierre Leton says JWP to score a free kick against us. He can't play. And hopefully they go down and we don't. So never. Jesse Lingard, question mark. Listen, we've already discussed Jesse. Not for me. I mean, that would be scraping the fucking barrel. This is the weekend dream of staying up, lives or dies. Palace leads to Forest. Results not go our way, and the gap is massive. Do you agree with that?
Look, the thing is, if we lose tomorrow and they pick up, and it is an 8-point gap, obviously it's not over, but the more it goes on, the more we can't close that gap. There's been points in the last couple of weeks where we've closed it to 2 points, and then all of a sudden it goes to 5 points. You lose tomorrow, they win, it's 8 points. It is a big gap. You know, if I was, I'd rather be in Forest's position than ours if I had an 8-point lead. So it's a different one, but it's not over, obviously.
No, the only plus we've got is still got to play 2 of those.
Yeah.
We've still got to play Palace, still got to play Leeds, and it's about that's the key thing is
and Wolves
making results where we can. We've still got to play Wolves, and that's the thing. We've got to get. They're the big points. We need to pick up points where we can, but we've got to make sure we get 3, 6, 9 against them 3, Palace, Leeds, and Wolves. That's the key thing. We can't afford not. And to be fair, 12 against Burnley, that is the biggest game.
Yeah.
Win them 4, that's the gap made up. And then you've just got to pick off other teams where you can.
Yeah. Disarcy is a really good player if you don't want to play with the ball, playing centre-back and playing a low block. Look at his game versus City. There we go. That's a Chelsea fan saying that. So,
funny enough, I actually did see that. There's a highlight thing on YouTube Shorts, and it shows that package against Man City. And look, he looked decent in it, but I haven't seen enough of him. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Mixed reviews, isn't it? It's mixed reviews on him.
Yeah.
Who we were chasing now? Crystal Palace. I think we're chasing everyone up there.
And Spurs.
The Palace are the ones that I think are in free fall at the moment. You know, they're the managers going. Their main striker don't want to be there. They've lost their captain. You know, they're the ones who are in bad form and look like could be dropping into this bottom 3 if out of anyone. You know, you look at Forest. Forest is still picking up decent results. Leeds look good. You know, Palace are the ones that I think we're chasing.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry. More chance of the Pope converting to Islam than Nicky sympathising for Sullivan. Thank you very much, mate. David Sullivan's paid for Nicky's new studio, says Hammer Times at 275. He ain't, because these boys were in here. My wife quite clearly paid for it because she came in here and she was fucking shouting and hollering about something on it. Do you remember when we were off last week?
Yeah.
Me and my wife paid for it because she wasn't fucking very happy about what was going on in it. That's for sure.
Point. Point.
Nikki, you're a lot of things, but Sully sympathiser. No, I'm sorry. Nikki was trying to find out what hospital Sullivan is, so I could turn off his license. I mean, that was the most random thing I've ever heard last week when the fella was saying that he was on his last legs. Evening like button smash. You'll be disappointed with Adama no end product. That's a Borough fan. Listen, I won't, because I've seen many people with no end products. So I won't be that fucking disappointed. I assume JWP can't play against us next week. That's right. Proper Ballers YouTube. This is a good one as it happens, because it's going to lead us on to the next subject. Has anybody seen Away Days video where he visits West Ham Stadium last week? Just go and watch it. Sometimes the club just stoops to new lows. I thought it couldn't happen. It's a fella called Away Days, Ellis Patton. He makes football content on YouTube. He's a Leeds fan, but he visited the London Stadium last week and said it's the worst ever. I did see it. Did anyone else see it?
No.
So it's called the worst stadium in the world, right?
What's he doing now? He's playing Sunderland. It weren't Leeds. What's he doing? What's going on here?
No, it's not the first one, right? It won't be the fucking last one. He's at the Sunderland game. He goes to the Sunderland game. He gets the club really don't help themselves, right? Goes to the turnstiles. He's paid £260 for tickets.
What?
He's bought them right at the back, right? He bought 4 tickets. He's got a cameraman and 2 of his mates, right? He's bought them right at the back on purpose, obviously, like the back row. He's a content creator, and I understand, and I assume the hassle. There's bits of it where they don't get into half time, right? So what happens is they go into the stadium. For some reason, the ticket doesn't work. He's got to go to the turnstile, right? To the ticket office. He's in near the corporate bit, yeah.
Right.
He's got to go now to the ticket office. They're not rushing, right? If you go and watch the video, they're not rushing. It's not like they're fucking running around and trying to get into the ticket office, right? They're not rushing at all. They're standing around. They're making their content. Listen, we make content. We know how long it takes to set up fucking camera angles and all that. Geezer ain't just walking around constantly filming them 24/7. They're saying, right, film this bit, blah, 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 and they're setting things up, right? So we know what it's about, content. But they get to the ticket office. They miss the goal 5 minutes. They see the ticket office after 17 minutes, right? Now they go to walk back towards their stand, right? By the time this has happened, and they're fucking about, right? I've got to say this because it wouldn't be fair. That they are fucking about, not rushing to get back round.
Yeah.
By the time they get round, they've buried off where people go for a smoke, right? It's nearly half time, right? So they walk round now and they get blocked. And the guy's like, you can't walk through here now. You got to go all the way. He's going, mate, my thing's there and I've got to walk around. And he went, yeah. Like, you've got to walk round now, right? He then starts, for some reason, walking out of the ground, right? Now, I don't know why he did that, to be honest with you. He then starts to walk across one of the bridges to get round. All he has to do is walk round the outside of the stadium, yeah? Mm-hmm. I'm just saying this, they wasn't rushing, right? And obviously it's for content, and obviously we know about content. If you go and watch it, you'll see, right? And they walked all the way around. They're getting at half time. The stadium ain't great, right? But it's very much a dramatization about what's happening, yeah. And listen, it does. I've commented on the video. I said thanks, lads, because he's talking about Upton Park at the start and all that. So it's if you go and watch it, you know there's indiscrepancies there about how long it's going to take you to get in the fucking stadium, but it doesn't paint us in a good light, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah.
This story is taking about as long as they took to get into the stadium.
Did you read? There was a couple of super chats I think you missed.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, I'm going to go back into them now. There was a super chat from Fortune hiding down under TV. Sid, we are looking like $14.99 Aussie dollars. Thank you very much, mate. We appreciate that. We are looking like a team fighting. Tati Pablo and the new manager as manager Paco has bought in belief. We had contract hunters. Now we have game hunters. Thank you. We can do this with squad to give us. Yeah, thank you very much for saying that. We have people that want to play the game and not just looking for a fucking payday. That's right. Ballsy Hammers sent £10. Thank you very much, mate. Great show, guys. I want to say, Nick, that has been a bit disrespectful towards Paquetá lately. Paquetá played with a wrong manager and only defending and are bollockless. BS out always. Listen, mate, I appreciate your sentiment. But I'm going to defend myself here because obviously there's other content creators that are defending him. There's other content creators that are slating him. But my faults are my faults. And listen, I respect everyone's opinion. Everyone's got their own opinions about it. And I respect everyone's opinion. Everyone's got an opinion and everyone should have an opinion. Disrespectful? He's just walked out in our football club and faked an injury to not play. You know, I'm sorry, but that for me, you know, as I said, there's a video about it. You go and have a look at. But disrespectful. I think he ain't even said goodbye to us on the way out. That's how much he fucking thinks about you lot. You know. So there we go. There we go. But that's it. Yeah. Talking about the stadium. Right, we have to mention this because this is another fucking piece of shit bit of news. Time to sell. Name your price was a banner taken in to the Sunderland game last week. Now, I haven't seen much about this. You might know a bit more about this, right? But apparently, them people that took that banner in have been banned for 3 games for taking that banner in. I think it's an awful decision by the board. I think it's awful. There's nothing offensive on that banner. It's just a question. Time to sell. Name your price. That was it. That was it. And apparently they've turned around and said it breached safety laws. Now, I have watched hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people taking flags for 10, 15, 20, 25 years. And I don't know anybody that's ever got a safety certificate for one of their flags.
I think Hawaiian Hammer just said his son was one of them, and it's 5 matches they've all been banned for.
There we go. 5 matches. Are we walking into censorism here?
Look, if that banner would have said David Sullivan, we love you, they wouldn't be getting 5-game ban. They wouldn't be. You know, it's ridiculous, and it's all part of what West Ham is now. You know, I've experienced it myself. You know, I got banned. The club banned me, even though I was innocent. Even though I went to court and proved my innocence, they still banned me because they're fucking. That's what they want to do. They want to get rid of fans, and they want to replace them with all these fucking people that go there and spend money in the club shop. We've spoke about it so many times. You know, and that's why so many loyal people are walking away. That's what's happening now. That's what they want to do. You know, and for people to hold up a banner, what happened to free speech? You know, we can say what we want. What was the difference if they would have sung it? Nothing. Yeah. They wouldn't do it. They wouldn't chuck you out for singing, would they? You know, they're taking a banner in.
The club has said it was the size of the banner, 1 meter by 2 meters. What they are saying, mate. There are fucking flags that are fucking. I've seen geezers pull flags out their pants that's bigger than that.
But then if they would have all taken a single flag in that said one word on each and held it up and said it, they wouldn't have done, you know. So that's what they're doing now. They're just trying to upset people so much that they walk away and give up their season tickets.
But that's what they want to do. We spoke about this, and we spoke. Look, listen, we spoke about their market employ and their fucking thing. You know, as you said this week, and we spoke about when you wasn't here, about, you know, what you experienced for the club and all that, and you know, we all had to sit there and fucking take it, and it's fucking disgusting. It's one of the most disgusting things I've ever fucking experienced for what happened at the end. You know, to go to court court of law and prove your innocence, that you wasn't involved in what they told you and what they banned you to be involved in, to go back to the club and for the club to turn around and go, do you know what? It don't matter whether you're innocent. We fucking decided you're guilty. It's a fucking piss take.
That's because they sold my ticket, even though it was my season ticket. They sold my ticket.
But you know what? The fucking worst thing about it is they had the fucking bollocks to turn around and go, you can apply for next year's one. And he went, well, what about the money for this year's one? They went, you're not getting it back. You're not getting it back. Yeah, that's right. You did tell it to shove them up their arse.
Listen, I've met some people in my time. The people they have working for that club haven't got a clue. Honestly, and I'm not going to sit here and name names, but they are clueless. The way, let me tell you how bad this was, right? After my band was up, I had to go to the club and sign something, which everyone has to do. If people that have been banned know they have to do it. I was meant to meet him at 12 o'clock. I was there at 11:30. Got there at 11:30. 12:15, no sign of the people. Rung them up. Eventually, they answered the phone. Oh, yeah, we're just in a meeting. I went, all right, well, you had a meeting with me at 12. Then they turned up, two of them, with a bit of paper for me to sign. Didn't take me in the office. They leant on a green wheelie bin and said, sign this. Sign what? You haven't explained what it is yet. And they're just so unprofessional at that club. And that's what I looked at it and I thought, mate, this is why this club is the way it is. Because they employ idiots. They employ people that ain't got a clue. They employ people that ain't even got an affiliation with a club. They don't give a shit about the club. And that's how they treat their fans. And I'm not the only one they've done it to. I know other people they've done it to. And they're just, honestly, they're disgraceful. They ain't got a clue. That's what I'm going to say.
Yes, just earlier on, I did say censorism. I meant censorship.
That's why, if we did get relegated, it'd make me happy to see some of them people made redundant that work for that football club. And there's a part of me, and I don't like people losing their jobs, but there's certain people at that football club, and I've still got all the letters upstairs signed by these people that fucking work for that club. I hope they fucking get made redundant. And I hope they have to go and work for Tottenham.
Unfortunately, mate, they won't be the ones that get let go.
Mate, I think they fucking will.
Yeah, it's always the way. Look, the thing is, what annoys me from it all, they're sitting there saying it's an health and safety thing. You know, we've all been there. We've been there away games, when away fans, especially when we played in Europe, and they with flares and bigger things than that. You know, at the end of the day, did the club try and hunt them down? Did the club try and do something to their?
I'll tell you something now about health and safety, Scotty, and you might be able to be. You know, last week the club sold me a bottle of Coke that was out of date.
Yeah, no, yeah, I see it. Yeah.
And they're talking about health and safety.
That's it. The crazy thing is,
why are you laughing?
The thing with that though, right? You know, is you can't blame the club on that one because it's the bloody company that run the game.
Mate, because I'm fucking there on the club's coin.
Let me tell you something about health and safety. They sold me that bottle, Dave.
No, but why? Why? But do you know what I mean? Like,
I know.
Like, what are they going to do then? Ban them for 5 fucking games? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's a banner. What the fuck's health and safety about a banner?
It's an excuse. It's just an excuse. That's all it is.
It is. I agree, Scott. It's an excuse to get rid of more loyal fans, ban them for 5 games. When the club need our support, when you want the fans behind you, and you ban people for doing that. And I know people that have done a lot worse in that stadium, a lot worse, and not been banned, even though they've been caught. So,
do you know what? I'd like to see the safety certificate from all them pieces of paper that they left hanging over the chairs for when we have to hold up the placard type things to get the atmosphere type thing. You know, when we had the Billy Bonds.
I'll tell you what, Scott, if you want to take it even further, mate, I'll take them to court because when we played in Europe and they put all them things on the seat and then elastic bands, people were flicking them elastic bands. One hit me on the head.
Yeah.
One hit me on the fucking head, Scott. I'm not having it.
One hit me in the eye. Right there.
That's it. This is the thing. You know, they just make it up as they go along, gives them an excuse to do what they want to do.
So I'm saying, but you know what I mean? Like some people bring in a banner. This is what I'm saying, right? And you ain't even got in-date food at your stadium. Like, come on. Like, you know, you cannot be that stupid. You cannot be that stupid. It's it frightens me. And it's not just them, it's the fucking country, but you know, it's seeping into football now about, you know, what you can and can't. Somebody said there was security standing in front of it. Them security guards have to be employed to do that. Standing in front of the TIFO when Peter Crouch was having an interview, they've got to pay them people to do that, so they know what they're fucking doing and they know what they're there for. You know, it's censorship and freedom of speech is something I'm really frightened about in this country. And when it starts seeping into football, obviously, like it's frightening. You know, when the Prime Minister's now telling us what we can and can't watch on the internet. You know, you can't have a wanking piece without having to fucking put your documents in there. No, it's true, right?
It is, mate. It is.
And
It is.
now he wants all of these fucking, these cards. It really frightens me because I am an advocate for fucking free speech. And
Yeah, mate.
no,
Look, we all know it. Everyone knows it. You know, the world's gone fucking mad. Like, you got to be careful what you say. And look, I understand. Look, if I ever said anything and it offended someone, if someone said to me, "Look, that did offend me," yeah, of course I'd think about not saying it again to them. I'd say it to someone else. But no, but it is. You got to be so careful what you say now. And there's all the people ready to jump on you and shut you down.
and we've seen it on this channel when we're public as well. Like people have tried to trip us up before. You know, when they were saying about what was the geezer that they tried to make us say was a West Ham legend.
Oh, well, the one that led. Was it the Cable Street?
Yeah, him.
The one that led
Mark
down
Moans,
the
I
far
mean.
right thingy of that. Yeah.
Yeah, someone tried to make us say that so we can clip it up. So, like people in our position, we have to be very, very careful about what we say. Obviously, we ain't got researchers of Sky and fucking and all that here. You know, we do it ourselves, and we react to live chat, and that's what I'm saying. Like, and it makes me frightened that we might say something on this show and we will never work again in this industry. Like, you've only got to say one thing because people are out to get you. And then when you've got people like the club, I'm sure, right? I'm sure, and I'm sure they've looked at it, and I'm sure that they've fucking tried. I know for a fact that they've tried to do things to me to make me make mistakes where I get fucking banned, right? But I'm sure they've looked at this channel many times and saw what we said, and have sat down with a fucking a bit of document and go, is there anything we can get him on here? I'm sure of it. Because I know what they're like. They sent people over to try and set us up to fight. Fact.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that is, and I know that, and I've been told that. They sent people over when we was very critical about the stadium at the beginning. They sent people that were employed by the club to come over to try and make us fight them because they sent stewards round when there was no confrontation because they was expecting a confrontation because they know we're quite volatile. Well, I'm quite volatile, and they sent them around to try and make us fight. There was people there from the club goading us into fighting, and it's
who all later appeared on a video on the big screen
on the big screen at West Ham, and it's it's sad. It's sad to think about what they and I've said this before. At our hour of need. At our hour of need, and we are going to be the difference. And they're driving people out like this. When and I said this last week, and I said this in a video, and people took offence to it. But when we are playing, if we are playing, the likes of Rotherham and things like that next year, the tourists ain't coming back. The people that you're driving out are the ones that you're going to need to be back. And it's a very slippery slope these people are going down because. These fans are all that's keeping this club together because they've run it so far into the ground. The fans, the loyal fans, the people that have fucking sat here and suffered and want the club back are the only ones that are fucking keeping the threads of this club holding on. And they're doing everything they can to upset you, to drive you out of this football club. And I've got to say this, and this is why I respect the people that do the protests and that. This club, I will never let go of this football club unless I'm forced. I know it's a fucking shit show, but this is where my heart is, and I know this is where your hearts are. I will never support another football club as long as I live. But this club, I will never, ever, ever give up on my football club. No matter who's in charge, it is my football club, and I will love it to the day I die. And I know it's changed, and I know it isn't what it is. And I'm not saying everyone's got to be like me, right? But this is what I want to fight for. And if I think there's a slim and minute chance that we might change it and we might get it back one day, I will stick around. I will stick around to the day it's gone.
This is the thing what I said last week, mate. I've got no issues with protests. I'll back the protests all day long. The only thing I personally couldn't get behind was the boycotting of games and walking into the stadium 15 minutes late because I feel that the players need us. And I think that when them players walk out that tunnel and Bubbles is being sung by 60,000 people, that's going to get them up. If it's half empty, you know what I mean? It don't look good. That's the only thing I couldn't get behind. And that's just me personally. I feel that because what the people doing the protests have said, that we back the team, not the regime. But then if you're not there to back the team, you're not, are you? So I've got no problem with the protests. I think the protests that they've done earlier in the season, the Palace game and the Burnley game, were brilliant. It shows the powers in numbers that you can get together. But that's the only thing I can't get behind. And people might slag me off for that, but that's just my opinion.
But you have the opinion and you have the right. And this is, me and Gonzo had a falling out over it, and he was right what he said. You've got the right to support whatever protest you want. If you don't want to participate in it, that's up to you. But it doesn't mean you don't support protests. It's just that you don't feel like that's the right protest for you. And that's what I'm saying. Like, you don't have to support, you don't have to do every single thing. And I think some people that run the protests, I think sometimes that they think you should, everyone, and you shouldn't do this and you shouldn't do that and you should do this and you should do that. I was one of them. I said, I called someone out for not doing something that they had, I had no right to fucking say you should have done. At the end of the day, that's, and that's what I understand. It's easy, right? It's easy, but it doesn't mean you doesn't support it. I support these all the way through, and if I will participate in any protest I want, but it doesn't mean everyone has to do the same thing, right? We would prefer it if you did,
but you don't have to.
But you don't have to.
No, you can agree with the protests and agree with what they stand for, but it doesn't mean to say you have to turn up.
That is what free speech is, and this is the thing, and this is what this country is doing, right? Free speech, unfortunately, make even the fucking idiots have a go. So, that's what we're fighting for, and that's it isn't free speech up until someone says something that you disagree with. It's free speech for everybody. They could be saying anything. That's what we should fight for, because this is censorship. This is control. This is dictatorship.
Yeah, everyone's got a voice these days. Everyone's got social media. Everyone's got a platform where they can voice their opinions. You couldn't do that 15, 20 years ago. So look, everyone, as you said, mate, everyone's got their right to have their opinions and what they say, but
sometimes people slag us off for, he don't do this, he don't do. We're talking about it. You don't have to, every part of what war is not only won with battle, war is also won with communication. And I'm not saying, you go and do the protest, not because I've been at the protests, right? But Scott didn't go to one. Right, Ryan didn't agree with the last one. It doesn't really matter, right, about these ones that you miss and all that. But we talk about, I will stand here and I will back anyone, any protest, and I will turn around and say, you go to it. If that's what you want to do, I'll back you 100%, 100%, right? And it's not just about feet on the ground. You have to spread the word. People like us talking about it. We went on the radio and talked about it. We talked about it on football. It isn't just about, we've got the voices. We give people the voices. I put a microphone in front of anybody that comes and speaks to me. They can speak about protests. They can speak about Karen Brady. They can speak about David Sullivan. There's not another fucking platform out there that will allow you to do that. There's not one, right? So if you want to come on here and you want to promote your fucking your t-shirt business, if you want to come on here and promote your fucking football business, if you want to come on here and fucking say about you hate Karen Sullivan, you want to come on here and say you want to sniff Karen Brady's knickers. It doesn't matter.
That Karen Sullivan is a love child I never want to think of.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, like,
the two of them put together.
There is no other platform, right? You cannot go on the BBC and turn around and go, do you know what? I'd love to sniff Karen Brady's knickers. They will allow you to do it. We are the only people that will allow you to say anything you want and promote anything you want. That includes protests and all that. So, it's not all about just foot to the ground. There is different ways of doing things. And, I as I said, I will support anyone and I will promote anything that I agree with. So,
well, as people are allowed to promote something, I'd like to promote something, please.
Yes, please.
On the 26th of March, we've got a night at the Brewdog pub with the one and only Sir Trevor Brooking. Now, usually, I come in here on a Friday night and I say, tickets are on sale now. I can't say that because all the tickets are now sold out. They went on sale yesterday morning and every single ticket's gone. That's what happens when you get a true West Ham legend, Sir Trevor Brooking. It's a night that I'm really looking forward to. It's one I've been wanting to do for ages. Working hard behind the scenes. It's all done. 8 weeks to go. I ain't got to worry about selling tickets. I knew it was going to sell out. It's Sir Trevor Brooking. Mm-hmm. What more do you want to... to come down, see
Has he
Sir
kept any
Trev.
back for the door?
Huh?
Has he kept any back on the door?
No,
Oh,
all sold out, mate.
Oh,
Everything's sold out. Everything's sold out. So yeah, it's going to be a brilliant night. So yeah, I say I've got something to promote, but I ain't. But I thought I'd just mention it. But yeah, if anyone's watching that did buy tickets, thank you so much for obviously supporting the night and the Brewdog as well. Yeah, really looking forward to it. As I said, it's someone that I've been wanting to do for a long time, and to finally get him, it's going to be a good night. I'm really looking forward to it.
And I've got to say this as well. This stuff behind me, thank you to OK Jerseys, but this stuff behind me, right? All of these bits of memorabilia on my studio wall, they're all up at the minute, right? I've got more coming. They're for sale. They're not mine. If you want them, you can buy them and I'll replace them. Everything is for sale behind me. If you want anything, you see anything behind me that you want, tell me. And
I've got my Ludo one here as well. I need to pull it up.
Yeah, mine was up there. Look, yeah.
But do you know what? I forgot because it's signed. Jimmy Walker signed it as well.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he signed it one, yeah. He signed. I got a shirt signed by Walker. But yeah, anything you see behind me, that Upton Park thing there, that Ginger Pele thing, that Ludo thing, there's more of them. You want one? DM me, and yeah, I'll give you the price what he wants from, and I'll pull it off the wall right now and I'll send it to you. So there we go. There's a Billy Bonds one there. I don't think you can see it. I'll swing it around a little bit. A Billy Bonds Claret Blue Army one there. So yeah, there's all sorts of stuff there, man. So if you want anything, just tell me. Nicky, you have to do a video so we see them proper. Can you hear me? Are we all frozen?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, so see them proper. Yeah, I will do, mate. Yeah. I mean, you know, they're behind me every single day. So yeah.
Not that one. What is it gone? Someone's just put there. Do you have a short list of ex-players that you want to interview? Do you know what? I think that since we've been doing this channel, we've been quite lucky, and especially with lately with doing the nights at the Brewdog. Yeah. I think we've been quite lucky. Everyone that I've interviewed is someone that I've always wanted to interview. And obviously there are other ex-players out there that I'd love to interview for different reasons. They ain't always got to be the best player that ever played for the club. But yeah, no, I'm sure we've got a few more nights this year. We try to do one every couple of months at the Brewdog, so I'm already working on the next one already. So yeah, it's
well, I had a chance today. People won't know. I haven't posted anything. I went and had a chat with Jermaine Defoe. And that is someone that I never thought I'd get a chance to talk to. You know? Honestly, and, you know, lovely lad. Listen, I know he's more affiliated with Spurs than us, but I've done a video today and I spent them all with Jermaine Defoe, and he was explaining. We had a little bit of a confrontation. I'm putting it on him about the things that he'd done when he was here. And that will be, it's going to be on another channel. I'm going to try and take the section off and put it on this channel, but very interesting. You can have a look at that. But yeah, we are very lucky. We are very fortunate, and they don't come any bigger. The only one that maybe I wish we would have got was Billy Bonds, but Bill was very shy, and we spoke to him privately when he was at certain events, and he only turned up for for good. For good causes, and he was brilliant with us, and it's the only one I would regret. But in terms of who we want to interview, I think we've interviewed everyone that I would ever want to talk to. No, I shouldn't say that really, because we've got more coming up. But we've interviewed a lot that I would have wanted to talk to. Like there is still more out there. I'd love Bobby Zamora. I'd love John Moncourt. I'd love Don Hutchinson probably. But yeah, there is because there was favourites of mine. But yeah, we've been very fortunate to be quite honest with you. And we've got some ones that everyone's interviewed. We've got a couple that nobody's interviewed, like Frank Lampard. We've been very, very lucky. And they're available on the channel, by the way. You can go and have a look at them. Yeah. So there we go.
Yeah, great. Every now and again they pop up on my YouTube thing, and yeah, it's I think I sent it to Dan the other day. I think it was 10 years ago that me and him went to when I interviewed Razor Ruddock. Like, to think that was 10 years ago is fucking crazy. Right. Like, so that must mean the John Hartson one must have been about 11 years ago, then 12 years ago. So
long time.
Mr. You can say Rice, Nicky. We all know you love him. I do love him. And one day I will interview him, maybe. But there we go. It's not why he's playing for Arsenal. Thank you very much. So, yeah. Ever interview Kevin Nolan? Yes. And it's up on the channel. You can go watch it. We had a night at the Brewdog with Kevin Nolan.
That was another night at the Brewdog. So at the Brewdog, we've done James Collins, Colton Cole, Dean Ashton, Julian Dix, Tony Cottee, McAvenny, not McAvenny, sorry, Konchesky and Jimmy Walker on the same night. Who?
Yeah. No, Konchesky and Walker. That was a night. Yeah.
Who else? Julian Dix. Don't know. Did I say him?
Yeah.
There's someone else.
Said Nolan.
Kevin Nolan. Yeah, Kevin Nolan. So yeah, we've been quite lucky. They're good. It's a good venue. Someone asked what Brewdog it was. It's Brewdog in Upminster.
Yeah. And that's always the same video. Someone said, "Would you ever try and get Rio? I'd love to see Nicky put it on him while he goes on like he's only played for Man United." I've tried. He don't want to. He don't want to. Well, he hasn't answered me personally, but I've asked people that have associated with him, and he says he don't.
Well, we nearly got an interview with him a couple of years ago, but Nicky was outside having a snout because he was pissed on cocktails.
Oh, that was at the TNT thing, wasn't it?
TNT thing, yeah.
Yeah, I was gone. But there we go.
He come back in with a fucking 2 pina coladas, smiling. I was like, mate, where you been? He's going, what? What's happened?
Do you know who was the most random person you've met, right?
What, footballer?
No, anyone. Like doing this channel, we've met some people. We've met Ray Winston a couple of times. We've interviewed Ray Winston. Who's a big, you're a big fan of. But who's the most random? I'll tell you. I'm going to tell you mine. Seamus.
Yeah, I was thinking that was at the TNT thing, wasn't it?
Seamus. So, and I had a punching competition with him, and I won.
I'm trying to think. Random people. Probably. Do you know what? And I'm lucky enough to be like get on really well with him now. But I think Chesney Hawkes was the most random one.
Yeah. He's fantastic.
Well, I could still remember him when he messaged us, like when we first started, saying he's watching us. He sent us a picture of him watching us on his telly and when he lived in LA. I was just like, hey, this is random. Yeah. And lucky enough now, you get to know him personally. But yeah, no, it's he's a good bloke, man. I've been lucky the last 10, 12 years. Yeah, we've been lucky. Some of the events and some of the things we've been invited to. Like, I still think probably one of the biggest highlights for me doing this channel was when we went to Wembley Stadium for the Bobby Moore film premiere, and we was watching it on the screen in the middle of the pitch.
Yeah.
Like, and that, to me, that was just a mental night, because I remember saying to you, like, when they were showing highlights of the final, I was like, mate, we're sitting on the pitch. I know it's not the same stadium, but we're sitting here where this all happened. And I was like, I just couldn't take that all in. That was an emotional night as well, and it was good. Yeah.
Interview Carol, Nicky. I did briefly. I don't think that's going to happen again, if I'm honest. But yeah, we've been very lucky. Just quickly then, boys, just before we wrap up, Chelsea tomorrow. Let's have a quick one. What's your thoughts? What's your first half?
That's probably another highlight, man. What's your first half? I could still never understand why we used to do that.
No, neither do I.
For a game and then put it out the next day.
Well, that's the fucking best one. What's your first half?
Those were the days when I used to just fucking drink heavily, and
we did it. Yeah, we had a few.
And then try and interview people after.
He answered the question.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
he knew what I was talking about. I just didn't say it in the right fucking way. What's your first half? Fuck it. You ever interviewed? Someone just put super chat there. No, but I actually sat next to him at the theatre a couple of years ago. I went to see Temptations, and Paul Ince was sitting literally next to me. And do you know what? I'll be honest. He was actually a nice bloke. It was only a couple of weeks after he got sacked from I think it was MK Dons. And I remember sitting down next to him, and I recognised him straight away. And I went to him, "No game today, Paul." And he went, "Fuck off," like that. It was just he was all right. He's to be fair, he spoke very highly of West Ham, very highly, and he actually says how much like he loved the club and all that. But look, people got their feelings on it. I was too young to remember Paul Ince playing for West Ham. So
listen, I've got something in the works, mate. I'm trying, and that's a very good title. Just think of that. Just think of what you just said there, and I'm trying to do something. So, yeah, Just quickly then, right? Chelsea.
Yeah, look, it's going to be a difficult game. Chelsea are, they've got a good team. They had a good win in midweek away to Napoli. Obviously, new manager in there. Whatever they think of him, I know there's a lot of fans that taking a dislike to him, probably because he's not this big superstar foreign manager that Chelsea expect. But look, he's gone in there. He started well. Look, as I said earlier, mate, I think it is a game we can go and get a result. I know there's most of the people, pundits, are going to be backing Chelsea, and they've got loads of reasons to back them. But when you look at what we've done in the last two games, and I've seen Chelsea this season, and I've seen them at home. I remember the game when they lost to Sunderland at home, last minute winner. They are there for the taking, but so are we. So we can't go there, and think, yeah, we're just going to turn up. We're in a big good form. We'll turn over Chelsea, because it's not going to be that easy. But I do fancy. Do you know what? It's mad to say, but I do fancy us to go there and get a win. I think it could be a game where we not surprisingly, because I think we're going to play. If we play well, we deserve it. But I can see us going 2-0 up and then maybe conceding a goal and then just hanging on for dear life and just nicking it 2-1. That's what
like that Martin game.
Yeah, a bit like that when we scored the goal and then we just hung on for dear life. But I can just see it. I mean, I might be wrong. I could be sitting there doing a reaction bang tomorrow and we lost 4-0. It's one of them. It could go either way. But no, I do fancy it tomorrow, and I can just see us. I would say causing an upset going to Chelsea.
I would say this: keep it tight, because they've had a game in midweek. That last half an hour might be very tough for them.
Perfect for chucking on someone like Traore, who's got pace.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Scott, quickly.
Perfect for chucking on a Wilson as well. Another. You said you've had Tatty and Pablo sort of. More Tatty running them down and causing them problems, and then you're going to bring on a player with the quality that Wilson's got with the last 20 minutes, half hour to go. Could be a big key. As I said, they had that really tough game midweek. Look, they've got a big squad. Yeah, and this guy seems to use it a lot better than Maresca did. He's got what I think is 5 out of 6 in the Premier League, 7 out of 8 all competitions, something like that. He's on at the minute. So he's on that. They're on that crest of that wave, aren't they? That new manager bounce. But we've seen many, many times before teams that play in Europe in midweek sometimes struggle, and especially the fact that they play Wednesday night and they're playing again on Saturday. I know it's the later kickoff, but they've not had the normal break that they normally get for playing in midweek in these European games. So we've got to take as much advantage from that as possible. Like you were saying, Nick, if we can keep it tight, that last half hour will be very, very interesting. But it's a tough game. For me, the performance has got to be there. So as I can see that performance, we still create chances and we don't get tanked.
I agree.
The thing is as well, I know you're saying about keeping it tight, but I think we have to start from the off and go at them.
Oh yeah,
I don't think we should go there and invite Chelsea on and just.
I think we need to defend from the front. But I'm just saying, keep that scoreline down to that last half hour. If you can get to it, they're 0-0 or 1-0 down, I think you've got a chance. And I know people are going to think I'm fucking crazy, but I'm just saying, like, them last half hour might be a little bit leggy for them. Might be.
And it will be leggy for us. It showed in the Sunderland game last week. We had a great first half, 3-0 up, cruising. And then we just sort of sat back and invited them on. They got the goal back. Lucky enough for us that that day they weren't that much of a threat, really. But look, as I said, Chelsea's going to be a difficult game. I know that. And let's just hope we go there and fucking show a bit of fight and get the 3 points. Because if we get them 3 points tomorrow, it gives these pundits that writ us off something to fucking talk about and talk about us as like,
All right, just quickly then, I'm going to start predictions. I'm going to go a Desmond.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with me 2-1. I fancy it.
I think it'd be a 1-1.
1-1. All right, fair enough.
Bowen and Somerville.
There we go. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining us on this edition of West Ham Fan TV's Friday Night Pint. As I said before, you can hit the likes button if you want to do that. That helps us out. You can share it. And if you've got any hypes left, do that for us as well. And if you're new, subscribe. We're on our road to 100,000 subscribers. We're on 85,000 right now. It'd be lovely, even if we got relegated, if we went down with 100,000 subscribers, because it'd give us something to cheer about at least. But thank you very much for joining us. As I said before, we'll be back tomorrow with all the fan cams and the build up to Chelsea, the watch along, and the post-match pint afterwards. If you're at the Chelsea game, come and see me. But there we go. Thank you very much. One thing left for us to say. Come on, you irons.
Come on, you irons.